Wayzata had just over 4,000 residents, no gated entrances, and no big stone or boulevards. Yet active listings on the water here start at $5 million and go past $20 million easily. Today, I'm taking you on a full driving tour to show you what you get for that and whether the premium makes sense. My team and I have helped to close nearly $1 billion in transactions in this market. Here's the honest take. Let's go.
Okay, here we go. We are about to turn onto Wayzata Boulevard, heading towards Lake Street or downtown Wayzata. Wayzata Boulevard is kind of one of the main roads that runs on the north side of Wayzata after you come off of 394 West. We're about 12 miles outside of downtown Minneapolis, about 20-minute drive, 15-20 minutes from Maple Grove, 10 minutes from St. Louis Park, so pretty centrally located in the Western Metro. We're on the north shore of Lake Minnetonka here, but Wayzata Boulevard, again, turning on to now, is a very popular spot, one of the main roads here. We have Starbucks on my left, a My Burger, Holiday gas station, Chipotle, Punch Pizza. So there's mostly fast food type of restaurants on this street here. We have some retail, dance studio, jewelry store, a lot of things, a lot of shopping as well. There is going to be a Lamborghini dealership that's actually being built, I think now, or kind of permitting through what the city is happening now, and that is going to be opening later this year or next year. We also have Brugger's Bagels here, Caribou Coffee, Walgreens. So again, there's a lot of shopping here. You'll see less people walking on Wayzata Boulevard than Lake Street. Lake Street's kind of, again, the main downtown strip of Wayzata. What you're going to notice in Wayzata when you're driving through it, when you're walking through it, is a lot of the construction here, especially the retail, is newer construction. So it's definitely more of that upscale luxury feel than maybe like an Anoka, right? Or an Excelsior is obviously luxury as well, but the downtown has more of a historic feel, you know, older buildings, older characters, those types of things. Wayzata is that sort of new money and new luxury, newer construction type of feel. So very popular area here amongst, I mean, really anybody in the West Metro and even anybody anywhere in the Metro. My wife and I will come down here for date nights. You know, I have a lot of friends that live close by that'll come and to walk Lake Street in the evening, grab dinner, grab an appetizer, or grab Ben & Jerry's ice cream, those types of things as well. So very, very popular spot, luxury spot right on the north shore here of Lake Minnetonka. What makes Wayzata unique as well is Wayzata proper is pretty small. You do have other parts around it that are technically Minnetonka, or maybe Deep Haven, even Plymouth addresses, but Wayzata itself, and to get a Wayzata address, is pretty small. It's a very smaller community, and Wayzata proper, again, is just small. But what makes it unique is it does serve the Wayzata School District. That's one of the largest school districts in the state, the #1 school district according to niche.com. You have super popular elementary schools, middle schools. You have a Wayzata East and a Wayzata West middle school. The high school is, again, very, very popular. #1 for athletes, according to niche.com, and #1 in the state, again, according to niche.com. We're turning now, kind of making our way through. The promenade is coming up. So on my left here is going to be, these are kind of high-end condos. Some of these condos are $800-900 million plus condos, very luxury condos. We do have some retail here that we're going to go by as well, but we're going to turn left here onto Promenade Avenue. So the Promenade is kind of just this local gathering spot where they have things going on throughout the summer, different events that happen, and then we'll turn on to Lake Street from Promenade. But as we're coming through here, again, you can see the architecture here. It's very new, modern feel, luxury type of feel. Get very high-end apartments and condos. Straight ahead here is Lake Street, but we're gonna take a left here, and I want to wrap around and show you Hotel Landing. It's a popular hotel spot. People will do staycations. People coming in from out of town will stay here. There's also condos in this building. $1 million condo. I sold one for a friend of mine a few years ago in this actual condo building. We rented it first, and then a year later, we ended up listing it and selling it. And then there's the 925 kind of restaurant and bar as well in the corner. But to my right here is Red Cow, popular burger spot, brunch spot. They have 2 locations, 50th and France, and here there might even be another one that I'm honestly missing, but I know this one on the 50th and France that I go to most often. Again, Hotel Landing here is on my left, and the 925, I think, did they rename it? They might have renamed it since I've been down here, but oh yeah, they didn't rename it. What is it here? Bell and Gray. So again, a little popular restaurant there that used to be the 925, but now it's Bell and Gray. I don't actually know when they changed that name, but anyways, we're gonna take a right now onto Lake Street. The promenade will be on my right, the promenade of Wayzata. It's just a little like common area. They have some grass. They do different events throughout the summer in that section. What I was saying before though was Wayzata gets a lot of people that move here from out of state and even within the state for the high school and for the schools because they are very popular. So promenade here is on my right, and then here is downtown kind of Wayzata Lake Street. This is a Lake Street. We have a lot of retail shopping on my left. We have Maggie's, it's a family restaurant. We have Baja House, a popular taco spot. We have Benedict's is on my right. That's a more popular breakfast spot. And again, you're gonna see a lot of people walking this strip because it's very walkable, very clean, very well kept, great spot really throughout. And it's a Monday here at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're still gonna see a lot of activity. You can see there's a person walking their dog here. We also have Anthropology. We have Evereve, probably butchering that, how you spell it, or how you say it. My wife would probably correct me, but you know, there is shopping down here as well. We have Pure Lima, a little taco spot, kind of make your own, like a Chipotle type of spot. Crisp and Green, like a bowl salad, healthy restaurant type of place, super popular. I do love that kind of out in and out kind of shop or spot. Josephina here on my right is a very popular pasta restaurant, high-end pasta. I've only been there once, but it was incredible. I like pasta. Just there's other spots down here that my wife and I will go to over Josephina, but it's very good. Cove here on my left is kind of one of the main hangout spots in Wayzata here. You know, not a bar and grill, but that's kind of what it is, right? It's just more of a high-end type of spot where you can get drinks and appetizers and food, and they have a really good lobster roll, and it's right on the water. So you can their patio overlooks Lake Minnetonka. McCormick's Irish Pub here is coming up on my right. Again, popular little Irish pub. And then again, on my left here, we're gonna be going past, you know, the lake here. So you'll see people walking and biking. And there is a lot of public parking around here as well. So you're gonna see a lot of people parked on the street, and then there are public parking ramps that are right off of the Lake Street as well, which makes it easier to come in and out of Wayzata. So Sakana is a sushi restaurant. And then again, off to my left here, you can see the lake. So awesome spot, tons of people walking and, you know, just enjoying the lake views. You can actually, if you have a house on Lake Minnetonka, there are docks here, public docks, where you can come park your boat, go get a bite to eat, and then take your boat back to your house. Ben & Jerry's here is off to my right. Awesome little ice cream spot. Again, my wife and I or some friends will sometimes come down and just walk here in the evening, grab some ice cream, and then head back home. But it's just, again, a fun thing to get together with friends and do is just come down to Wayzata and truly just walk the downtown Lake Street. Coming up here now, we're gonna get to a little bit more, some condos, apartments here that are right on Lake Street. There's 2 more restaurants that I want to point out. Sixsmith is a popular steak restaurant, high-end steak restaurant, and then Maconda, which is a more Mexican restaurant, and both are very delicious. Maconda is probably my favorite one down here. I really do enjoy Maconda. And then Sixsmith, again, I've been to once. I've been to Maconda a few times, but very popular steak restaurant that people go to for their anniversary and date nights, and you know, whatever the occasion may be, you can come down here. So that is Lake Street right there. So we just drove through it. I might whip us around and we're gonna go back through it before we kind of head over to some houses. But again, public parking you can see there. So there is a lot of spots to park. It's super easy to get in and out of. That was actually probably the least busy that I've seen it. Sometimes it's very, very busy and it takes you a while to get through there. But again, that was a pretty easy straight on through Lake Street. People bike here all the time. I actually will bike around Lake Minnetonka with some friends occasionally. It's about a 20-mile loop if you start here downtown and make your way kind of around Lake Minnetonka and through Excelsior and Orono and kind of wrap around. I'm actually gonna take a left here and then we'll loop back around Lake Street so you can get a feel for it one more time. But I just want to show you. So we're gonna cross the railroad tracks here. This railroad track is relatively pretty quiet, but you don't get a lot of railroad or a lot of trains coming through. But then now right here on my right, you can see this bike path. So this is the path that, again, you kind of have to weave your way around, but this path will take you all the way basically around Lake Minnetonka and you know, through the different cities. And it's just an awesome bike path, walking path, but a lot of people use it for bikes. And again, like I said, it's 20 miles around the lake, roughly, give or take a little bit. But yeah, that's Lake Street. We're gonna loop back around. This is gonna head towards Orono now. We're basically on Shoreline Drive here, and again, if we stayed on this road, we're gonna be heading west towards Orono. out to, you know, Independence, that far, you know, Medina, but Medina's a little bit more north, so more Independence and Orono areas. Orono's great. We'll probably do a driving tour of that in the future, but that is, you know, that's a good spot as well, right off the north shore of Lake Minnetonka. And they have Birches on the Water there. It's a popular restaurant. We'll definitely do a driving tour of that in the future. A little bit smaller town as well. But again, like I was saying for Wayzata earlier, super popular schools. People will, honestly, I've had clients that have bought like townhomes or condos in Wayzata before just to have a Wayzata address so they can send their kids to Wayzata schools, even though maybe their primary house is somewhere else in the metro. It's that popular, very big high school, you know, very competitive for sports. Used to be, I know that when I was in high school, how many years ago, like their football team was really, really good. They go through different seasons of like, you know, their football team is really good, then their hockey team, those types of things, right? But they do have really good sports, really good athletics, really good college prep, all those things. But if you're not used to a big high school, that is gonna be the biggest thing that you're gonna notice with Wayzata if you drive by it, is just how large it is. So, but it is very popular. We're gonna make a U-E here, but yeah, I love even this road. You can see the bike path. We're gonna have a biker come through right now. Yep, there goes a biker, just biking the path because it is such a very smooth, popular path to bike. Hop back on Shoreline Drive here, check for bikes. But I love this area. I mean, you can just see the land out here, the swampland, the wetlands. It's just so calm and peaceful. Houses in Wayzata, we're gonna get to. We're gonna go through a couple, you know, small little neighborhoods. They do have smaller lots. They're not like, you know, you're gonna have a little bit larger lots than Edina. In my opinion, obviously every single house depends. But a lot of the Edina houses have very small lots. They have, you know, shared driveways, those types of things. That's less common in Wayzata. You're actually gonna have your own driveway, you know, you're not going to be sharing lawn, that type of thing. But if you're looking for an acre, you know, Wayzata is not the place to be. If you're wanting a house where you literally can't see anybody, I mean, there are those, you know, small ones out there with some super big trees, privacy fence, those types of things, but you're gonna have neighbors, you're gonna have people around you, so it's not the spot for that. But if you want a walkable downtown, if you want to be able to walk to Lake Street, walk over, quick drive to Wayzata Boulevard, Wayzata is the place to be. So I helped some friends this year. They sold their home in Minnetonka. And then they bought in Wayzata proper for about $900,000. They upsized. They wanted to be in Wayzata schools. They wanted to, you know, have their kids go to that school. So, and I've also had another friend who was going to, and then decided, got a really good job opportunity down in Florida. So they ended up moving to Florida, but their number one spot was Wayzata. Again, they were looking at that in that like $950 to $1.2 million range to get a house. So if you're looking at Wayzata, you have to be willing to spend at least $1 million. That $900,000 house was a little bit more unique just because it was right off of Wayzata Boulevard, a little bit more traffic, a little bit odder layout. So they got into it, right? But you just have to be prepared to, you know, give on something if you're wanting to stay under $1 million. But I'd be willing, or just ready, not willing, willing and ready to spend $1 million plus if you want to be in Wayzata proper, close to the downtown area. So we're heading back here. We're gonna take another right and we're gonna head down Lake Street again. One of my Remax offices is just out of the left there that I'll go to work once in a while because, again, I'll go to grocer's table for a coffee, which I'll show you, and Crisp and Green for lunch. But Wayzata car wash there. And again, I just love the architecture down here. It's very new, right? But it's very clean. I mean, people, like I said, are walking. I just really do enjoy it down here. Being right on the water. I mean, the Wayzata downtown really does it right. I mean, I know my videographer that I work with, good buddy of mine, you know, he does a lot of videography work throughout kind of the suburbs, and he always says Wayzata really truly is, in his opinion, one of the best downtowns. They just really do it right. They have the lake, they have the restaurants, they have the, you know, no franchise restaurants, besides I guess Crisp and Green has many locations, but a lot of them are one location, maybe two locations max, and you know, they really do it right down here. So again, the lake is on my right. I know there's things you can't really probably see because of all the cars, but the lake is on my right, Lake Minnetonka, and we'll be able to kind of point out a few other restaurants and spots coming down this way. A lot of people are walking, reading books. Oop, I just blew that stop sign. Kind of paid more attention. Anyways, it's usually a lot busier. Joe, Gianni's is a popular steak and seafood restaurant. I missed that one coming in, kind of behind just right after Sakana there. But again, this is actually, for a Monday, I'm surprised it's not busier, but it is still busy. But like just being able to not, usually you have to wait in line to get to this stop sign right here before you're able to cross over. Grocer's Table's on right off to my left, popular little coffee shop, and then Eloise is a newer restaurant that opened last year. Cole off to my right again. But yeah, traffic is moving really smoothly through Lake Street right now, which is really awesome. Another popular spot here in Wayzata next to the promenade is the Wayzata Bar and Grill. Again, just really popular bar and grill type of food. But like I was saying before, Wayzata today at least is, you know, a lot quieter as far as traffic goes. It can be, you know, it can take you 10 minutes from the beginning, from the promenade to get down to McConaughey's Sixsmith. The one thing that I think is interesting about downtown Wayzata Lake Street is that it's actually pretty long. I don't know the exact distance, but you know, to walk from the promenade area here all the way down towards, you know, Sixsmith McConaughey can take you 15-20 minutes. You know, it can take you a long time compared to like an Excelsior, which is a little bit tighter. Even in Anoka, those types of downtowns are just a little bit smaller. The streets, the main streets, right, are a little less they're just not as long, right? So that's what makes Wayzata super nice and unique there, is that it is, if you start at the beginning and work your way all the way to the end, it is a lot to walk. So we're gonna wrap around here. We're not gonna go down Lake Street again, but I do wanna just wrap around and go to just go through this quick little neighborhood and show you some of the houses here. Again, you're gonna find smaller lots, you know, bigger houses, newer construction. I mean, you can see the houses off to my right here are beautifully made. You know, you have the stone architecture. So you can see some of these houses here as we're going through this neighborhood. They're bigger, you know, they're smaller lots, but they're bigger houses, newer construction, beautiful architecture. There are some older houses, you know, mixed in. A lot of the older houses will actually be ripped down and then, you know, built new. But the architecture here is, you know, truly breathtaking. You're just not gonna get those nice and big lots that you would, you know, maybe in Medina or Maple Grove, Dayton, those types of areas. Orono even, you know, if you're in Orono proper, you're not gonna get maybe a bigger lot, but outside of Orono, Long Lake area, you can maybe find some bigger lots with half acres. But a lot of newer construction here. These houses are, I mean, really truly one of a kind, and you can walk or bike right down to Lake Street, which is beautiful. And like I said, I'd be ready and willing to spend at least $1 million to get into Wayzata here if you're wanting to be in the Wayzata proper address. So now we're gonna make our way out of kind of the Lake Street area and just do a quick little wrap around. There is these spots called rent by boat, and you can essentially rent boats on Lake Minnetonka and take boats out. So they have, you know, pontoons, they have some, I'm pretty sure they have some surfer boats. I've only done it once and I've rented a pontoon, but you can rent boats for the day or for, you know, half day and take them out on Lake Minnetonka. So we're gonna go past one of those. We'll make our way up through kind of more towards like Deep Haven, Minnetonka. I just want to show you that one spot, even though it's not Wayzata proper. It's a beautiful little road that kind of wraps over the lake. So we're gonna do that, and then we might pass through Wayzata Boulevard one more time. We'll see. But you can see the bikers coming up the hill here. But yeah, I mean, these houses here are just a little taste of what you can expect in Wayzata. Newer architecture, 2 to 3 stall garages, smaller lots, but beautifully built. But we're gonna head out here. Again, there's a spot here. They have multiple spots, but there's a spot here where you can rent the boat. This is where I rented it with some friends maybe 6-7 years ago. They have a public boat launch right there. It does take time to get spots for your boat if you want to permanently, you know, dock your boat. I know a friend who waited, he lives in Deep Haven. He waited years just to get a jet ski spot. And then just last year, he actually got a buoy to put his boat. So he's not even on the dock. He has a buoy that he can anchor his boat to on the water, so that he can out, you know, it's on Lake Minnetonka then for him to access. But there's sailing out there, yachts, super yachts. There's even Lake Minnetonka, like, what do you call it? The dining experiences where you can go out and take you out for more like a sunset cruise. Very busy lake a lot of times too. So if you're looking for a lake that's not crazy busy, Lake Minnetonka might not be for you because it does have just so much attention. If you're a fisherman, fishing can be pretty good. I've only fished it once, but I have a buddy who fishes it pretty regularly and does pretty good. I know there's bass competitions that happen at Lake Minnetonka. I know some people who have carped it as well, but I mean, I would call it more of, it's not like a prime time probably fishing lake. It's more of a you know, recreation lake than a prime fishing lake. But all right, we're headed now kind of outside of Wayzata. Again, what I love about it too is like these roads are just, you know, you have all the green space, you just have a lot of trees, and you feel like we were just in downtown Wayzata, and now we are, you know, it feels like we're on kind of a country road, which is really nice and cool. So I think that's kind of unique about just Minnesota in general and some of these downtowns is you know, they're very populated where they are, but then just on the outside of them, you know, or outside of the Dells downtowns, you have these awesome roads that are just fun to drive and take a Sunday drive and see the cool houses and big houses. And, you know, it's a relaxing road that's not crazy busy, and you can just cruise on. So really like that. All right, we are now heading towards Grays Bay, which will be up on my left here. And there's a pocket here of Minnetonka, I think is the technical proper address, not Wayzata, but I like it. There's a Lifetime there. There's a Holiday gas or co-op Lake Winds that's popular, and I just love this kind of over this road that kind of weaves through here and goes past the lake that I wanted to show you. If you're looking for a home on Lake Minnetonka, I mean, the prices are all over the place, but be willing to spend at least a couple $1 million just to get on the lake. There's $50 million homes in the lake, $10 million homes in the lake, depends on how big, where it is, all that stuff. But you know, be willing to spend a few $1 million, probably $4 or $5 million as an entry point to get on Lake Minnetonka. But this is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's beautiful here, lake on both sides of you. I love this road. Every time I drive and meet friends over here at Lifetime, I just love this road at night, in the evening, or in the morning. It's just so beautiful with the sunset and the lake on both sides of you here. And again, the houses are just immaculate. I mean, I have a friend who lives on Lake Minnetonka in Excelsior, and we'll just go for cruises, and you know, you drive past, you boat past the homes, and they're just incredible. So I have another friend who lives in Greenwood, which is kind of a little pocket on the south side as well on the lake, and he's got an awesome house over there, and we'll go boating and those types of things. So that's the road I wanted to show you there. This technically, yeah, County Road 101, but in that Grays Bay, public access is over there. This house on my right, our team just listed for sale. We just drove by it, $3.5 million on the market this week. So that one should sell pretty quickly. But very updated, modern, luxury feel, and it's right off of County Road 101, which is awesome. So you can get to downtown Wayzata pretty quickly and get to Lake Winds and the Lifetime up the road here as well. All right, so here we are. This could be considered Deep Haven as well, but you have Lifetime Minnetonka here off my right. More of a luxury style Lifetime, but $199 a month to get into that Lifetime. You have a Holiday, Nautica Bowls, F45, Caribou Coffee. My good friend owns a Shutout and Integrated Massage. They have a massage spot there, which is, I mean, great. I love going to see him. My wife goes and sees one of the massage therapists there. Let's see, we have Snuffy's Malt Shop, a wine shop, and then Lake Winds Co-op. We'll drive past here just to show you that. You know, local groceries, healthier groceries, organic stuff, that kind of stuff is sold there. I love they have a nice breakfast bar that after I've worked out with some people at Lifetime here, or we've met here and did a bike ride around Lake Minnetonka. Went there and got a breakfast burrito or breakfast sandwich. But yeah, this is Minnetonka Boulevard and Gin. I just like this spot here as well. So once we take a left here on this light, I'll go past Lake Winds to show you that. All right, here we go. Turning left down to Minnetonka Boulevard. Snuffy's Malt Shop is right there. Hardware store, wine shop, and then Lake Winds Co-op is right in here. You're gonna see a lot of high-end luxury cars in Wayzata as well, and even just the areas around Wayzata. But great grocery store. Obviously higher priced stuff that's in there, that's sold there. But definitely worth it if you are wanting more organic, locally grown groceries. It's a great grocery store, especially if you're around these areas, living in these areas, and it's, you know, only 5-10 minutes away. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I would so appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. We definitely will be doing more driving tours of other suburbs around the Minneapolis metro area. Probably will even do another one of Wayzata, because it is just such a popular spot. They might have new restaurants, coffee shops, things popping up, things closing down. You never know, things do kind of move because it is a higher end space. So even rent can be expensive there. So you do have restaurants that, you know, maybe go in and out at times. But really appreciate you guys watching. If my team and I could ever help you find a home here in the Minneapolis suburbs, whether it's in Wayzata or a surrounding metro, we would love to be your team and your real estate resource of choice. So we'll see you guys on the next video. And again, thank you so much for watching.